shadows, so we made it to Madrid. I've got about an hour walk to the hostel, so not horrible. Beautiful weather. And then it's hop in the shower, try to figure out what we're doing. It's New Year's Eve for me. When you watch this, it will not be, but it is for me. So gotta try to figure out if there's anything special I'm gonna do tonight. Because you're in Madrid, you gotta ring in New Year's Eve, and I'm sure there's plenty of stuff to do. All right, guys, let me concentrate on trying to not get lost, and chat to you in a bit. All right, good morning, shadows. We are up and about. We're gonna tour through Madrid today. I'm gonna show you some really cool sights. We're gonna hit Old Town, New Town, see everything we can see. But first, we gotta get to my starting point, and I'm feeling a little peckish. I feel like we need a little energy, so we're gonna stop by a really cool shop. We'll talk a little bit about that when we get closer. All right, guys, let me get to my starting point. All right, guys, so before we get going, we're gonna hop down this alleyway called Cathedral de Sajines, and we're gonna hit this really cool chocolate shop, the oldest 24-hour chocolate shop there is, to grab some classical churros y chocolate. So yeah, how long has this been open? Long time. Check it out. Okay, now I'm ready to conquer the day. So be warned, you're gonna sit in line. It's very popular. It's really good though. It's probably the best chocolate churros I've had the whole time I've been in Spain. Also, another thing for those of you that are really used to the typical hot chocolate, this is really thick, almost to a pudding consistency, so don't be alarmed, but it is so good and a great way to start the day. So let's finish getting to where I'm gonna start this little tour I'm giving you guys in Madrid, and yeah, get this day started. All hyped up on chocolate and churros. All right, guys. So we started in Plaza de Isabel II, which is Isabel II, who was the only queen in this dynasty, in the Bourbon dynasty, because once they took over, the crown could only be given to boys. So her father played around. He only had girls, so he figured a way out to solve it. But it's a great place to start. It's right next to the Opera House and right in front of the palace, which we're about to go see. She's kind of like a lady of my own heart. She was like a free spirit. She was very, they dubbed her kind of like a male. She loved to eat. She loved to take lovers. She was very outspoken. So you can see, like at that time when women were supposed to be demure and quiet, that wouldn't go over well. So now we're just kind of walking to the palace, and we'll go take a look. All right, here we go. Maybe I should give you an example. So this opera house that we're standing in front of, or behind, next to, I'm not sure, had already started construction when Isabel took over. She heard it was taking forever, so she came down. She demanded to see the architect. She saw everything. She became very involved. And then as she was leaving, she said, you know, I'm having my birthday here in 6 months. And lo and behold, something that had been taking years and years and years to get done found its way to get done before her birthday. So just kind of an example of like the person she was. Yeah, I thought that story was really cool. My tour guide actually told me that. By the way, guys, if you're in Madrid, and I'm not sponsored by these guys, but I would definitely check out Strawberry Tours. All right, they do a couple different free tours. Ooh, let me get that out of your eye. And they're well worth it. All right, guys, let's check out this fountain. We'll talk a little bit about it. And then, oh, I'm sorry, I'm blinding you. And then we'll look at the palace. Guys, so the statue right there that I just showed you. Ooh, that's cold. No, thank you. Offered me a selfie stick. I have one. I just choose to handhold, which I know is kind of weird, but it's what I do. It's a lot easier in crowds for sure. So the statue right in front of me is kind of an amazing feat. It is, I do believe, Charles the Third, if I can remember what the tour guide said. So the statue itself is the thing of interest, because it is the first one in Europe, bronze-wise, to be a horse on two legs. And it actually took 4 geniuses, including Galileo Galilei, to create it. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but just know bronze is incredibly hard. It's a soft metal, so holding that much weight is kind of ingenious, and it took Galileo Galilei to kind of make sure it was balanced and everything. So it's a really beautiful statue, actually, really detailed. It is right in front of the palace, and by the way, I just walked into, I'm gonna assume maybe the changing of the guards, I don't know. It was kind of like that ceremony at Buckingham Palace, so I assume that's what that was. Yeah, it's got a nice little garden around, so it's really great. We're gonna check out, I hope that sun's not in your eyes. Hold on, let's move over here. Yeah, that's better. I'll just kind of lean back and look cool. No. So let's go check out the palace. The palace itself is kind of new. It's on ground that's been holding some sort of fortress for quite a while, but yeah, it's fairly new. So check it out. It's going to be kind of different architecture, much more like the Baroque, neoclassic kind of idea, as opposed to some of the other buildings we'll see as we're walking around, sorta. Yeah, so let's go on to check out the Royal Palace. By the way, the King and Queen of modern era do not live there, all right? They only visit. So let's go check it out. I think the tour guide said like 3 times the size of Buckingham Palace, so it is the largest palatial palace in Europe, I do believe. I'll check and make sure. But it has so many rooms, 3,000 some odd rooms, that it would take 9 years for you to sleep 1 night in each. So yeah, pretty grandiose, I think. Beautiful to look at though, and the architecture is really, really sweet. Yeah. It's huge. I keep blinding you guys, I'm sorry. It's because of where the sun is right now. It's like, in fairness, I'd rather blind you than me. I don't know if that's right, but that's how I feel. So we're gonna keep walking on. We're gonna check out the cathedral. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then I think we might go in and check out the crypts. They're supposed to be pretty amazing. So let's do that. On the backside of the palace, and you can get in, but if you look behind me, that's the queue. I'm not sure how much it costs to get in, but honestly, I'm not super interested in going in. However, the building behind me, the cathedral, that we, like I said, are probably gonna go take at least a tour of the crypt. What I really want to do is try to get a shot of this amazing view from in between the palace and the cathedral. So let's see if we can do that without too much obstruction. It is said that when there was no pollution and everything, there was a chance you could see up to 100 kilometers away. And that's why Madrid actually became a stronghold. It wasn't even the capital for a long time. Toledo was, which I'm not sure which way it is, but it's pretty close, like a 40-minute bus ride, I think my tour guide said. So yeah, so Madrid actually was just kind of like a watchtower for a long time, and in a bit we'll see some of the original walls of the fortress that was built during the Muslim years. So we'll talk a little bit about more of the history there. Yeah, so let's go maybe check out this cathedral, and then we'll head to the ancient city walls.